Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing my May reading wrap up and wow, it's been a packed month. I read 11 books in total, spanning thrillers, graphic novels, manga, literary fiction and some deeply emotional reads. I have talked about most of them in my weekly wrap ups, but I'll give a quick recap before we dive deep into one I haven't talked about yet. So let's get into it. I talked about books 1 to 5 in detail in the first weekly wrap up. I'll link the video in the description box in case you missed it. I'll try to give each one a short and sweet but fresh spotlight. This one starts with a hit and run that kills a child, and the grief is immediate and sharp. You think you know where it's going, a mother trying to rebuild, but bam, plot twist. I liked how Mackintosh weaves emotional vulnerability with a suspenseful narrative, but didn't enjoy it as much as I hoped to. So I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. This is a hilarious and heartwarming manga where a spy has to form a fake family for a mission, but his new wife is an assassin and the adopted child is a telepath. It's the kind of premise that could go over the top, but the balance of humor and emotion is just perfect. A great intro to manga if you're new to the genre. Gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. This is a timeless classic. It looks like a children's book, but it is really a philosophical reflection on love, loneliness, and what really matters. The conversations between the prince and the adults he meets feel like quite critiques of modern life. Gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars as well. This is a gentle and emotional YA romance with a memory loss twist. It follows a boy who confesses to a girl on a dare, but then discovers she has a condition that resets her memory every night. What stood out was the calm, delicate tone. It's not melodramatic, and while I didn't cry, I really appreciated how it handled pain, love, and transience. A quietly moving book with a very Japanese sensibility. Gave it a solid 4 out of 5 stars. This illustrated book is basically therapy in picture form. It's a story of 4 characters walking together, having little conversations that are packed with meaning. The art is expressive, and the quotes are simple but powerful, like something you would want to frame. It is a book you can finish in one sitting but revisit endlessly. Great for moments when you need a mental reset. I gave it a 5 star. Next, let's talk about books 6 to 8, which I discussed in my second weekly wrap up. Again, all videos mentioned will be linked in the description. This is a travelogue. Anuradha Beniwal, an Indian woman traveling solo through Europe, uses her journey to question freedom, gender norms, and privilege. The language is punchy, often humorous, and makes you reflect on what it really means to be free. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. This is a middle grade graphic novel. The art is vibrant and the characters are warm and relatable. It's a story about cultural expectations, family, love, and finding your identity. Perfect for kids, but honestly, healing for adults too. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. The second volume of this manga builds on everything that made the first great. It's fun, chaotic, and oddly heartwarming. The pacing continues to be great, and I'm eager to continue on with the series. Gave it a 5 stars. Next, I read books 9 and 10 back to back, and they were completely opposite reads. I discussed their emotional impact in detail in the last video. This is a romantic suspense novel set in a small town where the heroine returns home years after a traumatic event. There's a mix of mystery, tension, and slow burn romance. The emotional weight is solid, the characters are healing from deep wounds, and it's satisfying to see them come together. Gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. This is a short collection of autobiographical fragments from one of Japan's literary greats. It's raw, philosophical, and painfully honest. You feel the writer's descent into despair as he reflects on illness, identity, and meaning. The structure is disjointed but intentional, and it reads like a journal from someone who is trying to make sense of his own mind. It's not easy, but it's profound. Gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Now for the one book I haven't talked about yet. Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. This is a psychological thriller that grips you from the first chapter. It follows Laurel, a mother still reeling from the disappearance of her teenage daughter Ellie 10 years ago. When Laurel meets a charming man named Floyd and his young daughter Poppy, who eerily resembles Ellie, things begin to unravel. The story is told from multiple perspectives and timelines, and the author masterfully reveals the truth piece by piece. It's fast paced, and what I liked was the emotional undertow. This is as much about grief and motherhood as it is about mystery. The author explores how people survive trauma, how they justify the unthinkable, and how far love can bend before it breaks. The ending of the story is bittersweet. I would recommend it if you enjoy thrillers with a strong emotional core. I gave it a 4 out of 5 star. So that wraps up my May reading. Let me know in the comments which ones you have read or want to read, and you have any recommendations for thrillers or manga, drop them below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Happy reading.